Hello again, 99ers. What I'd like to give you today is an intro to the gameplay of that TI-99 RPG I'm so excited about, Realms of Antiquity. So, I'm going to quickly play through a pretty typical version of your first few hours in the game to give you a taste. And I'll explain what needs explaining along the way, or do my best to. I'm doing all this with the benefit of hindsight, of course, so this will be a lot more direct than it would be for a new player going in blind, and I'll speed through some redundant battles so it doesn't take all day. But all in all, you should get a good impression of what Realms of Antiquity is and how it plays. Anyway, time for me to get out of the way so you can enjoy the rest of the title screen theme music, and we can set off in our quest in the Realms of Antiquity. Alright, let's just confirm our disk configuration here, which is good, and start a new game consisting of a party of 1. And because we're creating a party of 1, we can choose a hero as our class, the mysterious hero from another world who has all the abilities of all the other classes combined. So we're going to be a strength and agility monster, while still pretty good in cunning and reason, and be able to cast spells and fight all at once. Character's name is going to be the Stranger. Fair warning here that we're going to be exploring the early game, so there will be early game spoilers. There won't be any major world lore revelations, though. But as for that early game lore, it was an ordinary day. You were out walking, enjoying a sunny afternoon, a welcome break from the chaos and noise of your everyday life. You left civilization behind and traveled far to an isolated park. Serene and peaceful, you could feel your stress slip away on the cool breeze. Then you spotted the clouds on the horizon. How strange. The weather report made no mention of rain or storm, and the clouds are so unusual as well, dark and ominous, with weird flashes of colored light, unlike any lightning you've seen before. The storm is moving fast. Maybe you should seek shelter. Stumbling through the woods, you look around, trying to find a safe place from the storm. You hear the rumbling of thunder, and the wind grows chill, blowing a strange scent in your face. Panicking, you consider huddling under a tree, and then you see a rock face ahead in the growing darkness, lit now by a flash of lightning. Against the rock is a shadow. No, it's a crack, an opening, just wide enough for someone to squeeze inside. You push yourself in as the rain begins to fall in great sheets that drench you before you can get completely inside. The inside is dark but dry, larger and deeper than it had appeared. It should be protection enough from the storm and rain, which seems to be growing louder and more violent than before. You sit on the dirt floor, shivering in your wet clothes as you wait for the storm to pass. But the storm rages on and on, the thunder roars and booms like an angered beast that wants to eat you. The lightning continues to flash, and now you can smell burning wood outside and hear the trees falling. The flashes are not just bright, but of every color of the rainbow. Now the earth seems to shake beneath your feet. You seriously begin to think this could be the end, a final storm to end days. You're not sure when you passed out, but you suddenly awaken. The terrible chaos of the storm is gone. Warm sunlight streams into the crevice where you're lying. You get up and go outside. You idly notice that the crack seems much wider than before. Then you realize that you're not where you were at all. You're standing upon a cliff edge overlooking a large lake in a valley, surrounded by high mountains. The air is sweet and clear, no smell of chemicals, just fresh warm grass and wildflowers. This isn't the park at all. Is this even Earth? You feel different as well. You're dressed in very odd clothing, as if you were going to a medieval fair. How odd. You know things, too, how to use the weapons and items you have and other strange bits of lore. Is this another world? How did you get here, and how do you get home? A thin trail of smoke catches your eye. You can see a small village far off in the distance. Perhaps you'll find your answers there, or at least a start to them. You can view the prologue again at any time by going to View Introduction, but for now we're going to continue our adventure. And that'll begin on the mountain trail mentioned in the prologue. From there, my character will head into the local village of Alpthorpe to see who's there, and whether they can help me, and whether I can help them. Most villagers, as you'll see, don't have much to say, but they've got something. So instead of just yammering away all day, we'll head over to the town's brightest, pinkest building and see what this big man and his pink building can do for us. And who we find is a short, rotund man wearing a gold medallion of office sitting at a desk. He introduces himself as Walter, the village leader. He says Alpthorpe's a small, quiet town, where they lived in peace until the Failings came. He tells me the Failings raid their herds and have attacked their shepherds, and their people aren't warriors. They don't know how to fight back. If only there were a way to stop the Failings. He'd pay me a reward? Enough about him, though. What about this storm that brought me here? He says I should talk to Frode, their village elder. Well, fair enough. Let's go talk to Frode and see what he has to say. He's a tall, bearded man with simple robes and a staff, and he confirms my suspicions that it is indeed weird that I don't know how I got here or where here is. But he confirms that here is Alpthorpe in the realm of Telanua. And he tells me to seek out the 7 towers of sorcery in Telanua. And it seems that if I wish to find them all, I'll have to explore far and wide across the realm. He tells me he can identify items, so that could be useful, I guess. But before I set out to find a way home, or save the world, or whatever it is I'm going to do here, time to go shopping for some equipment to make sure I'm outfitted to do it properly. I'll want some arrows for my bow as a ranged option. And I'll pick up short sword as a small improvement to my weapon. Goodbye, rusty blade. One more stop before we head out is going to be picking up provisions. These are important because provisions are used to recover fatigue, and fatigue can be used to recover health by casting spells. Therefore, there's kind of a provisions, fatigue, health pipeline that you'll see a lot of use of. Stamina, or its inverse, fatigue, is recovered as you walk, so long as you have provisions. Well, time to say hello to those failings we've been hearing so much about. And time to say goodbye. I don't feel like fighting them right now. And they'll just follow along behind me like a lost puppy in the meantime. Greetings, guy whose house I just walked into uninvited. Who is, I guess understandably, a bit put off. And who is apparently not interested in helping with the Alpthorpe case file. Oh well. I guess I'll just have to do everything for myself. Well, time to go deal with those failings I left standing right outside his door. And they are not going to pose much of a threat, given I am a hero, and the hero class starts out pretty strong, given it can do just everything. In light of that, I could be using spells offensively here, but, well, no need for now. When you kill an enemy, you always get XP, but you'll only get coins if you kill a humanoid enemy. You know, wolves and bears don't use money. Oi, more failings. As you can see in battle, all actions use action points, but how many action points depends on the action and depends on your equipment. Potions are a common loot item, and those you can use to restore health and stamina, and even to get buffs occasionally. As you can see, these trees here are an obstacle that you can use tactically in battle. Flying enemies can actually fly over those ground-level obstacles, which I find to be a nice touch. Time to see if I can identify these potions and see what good they're going to do me. And what I got there is 1 health potion and 1 stamina potion. One of the handy-dandy uses of spellcasting there, casting glow to light up your surroundings. There's a useful item over this way, but I think I'll skip it this time. Boy, these bats are well hidden against the background. And I hear sadistic tittering in the dark. Dialogue events like that are assigned to particular tiles around the world. Supplementing your melee attacks with missile attacks can be good from an action economy standpoint, hitting your enemies before they get to you, and making them do the work of covering that ground. And here's one of the nice things about being a hero, being a good melee fighter who can heal himself in combat. Note the trap evaded there. Traps can go off when you open a chest, so don't think you're safe just because a battle's over. It could end with an explosion. More potions, so let's once again figure out what these potions are. And all just health and stamina recovery, but that's good. Walked right into that one, not that it'll do me any harm. I dare say the failing took the worst of it. And let's just skip through this failing battle, since you've seen plenty like it and you'll see plenty more. Alright, we've reached the inner what's-it. So, let's see if matters can be resolved. A failing king, and he wants to eat us, so we'll just see about that. Well, with the stranger on the job, failing is all this king is going to do. I bet the failing people are really sick of that pun. I hope they are. Well, this has been a pretty one-sided battle. Sorry, your lordship. And incidentally, that no trap found there doesn't mean there isn't a trap, it just means you didn't find one. Alright, well, money's always useful. And I'll spare you the route back to town, which is mostly what we've just done, but in reverse. Well, let's see if someone wants to give us a reward. And yes, 200 crowns is not bad at all. Alright, let's see if Frode has anything interesting to say for himself at this point. Nope, not really. And let's see if there are any interesting rumors to be heard at the inn. If you're in a dark place, use a light. Not exactly what I was looking for. Oh well. Time to head off in pursuit of new objectives. Perhaps the old jerk up there can be convinced to not be a jerk anymore. Or, maybe not? Flies, not the nicest enemy. And I have very failed at running away from them. I literally backed myself into a corner. But, as is often the case in this game, magic is the solution to what proves impossible or difficult with conventional weapons. Now to explore the abandoned northern pass from Alpthorpe's little cape. And do an adorable little dance with a wolf. Oh, spiders. Almost as bad as flies. Okay, almost where we need to get. But a couple things to deal with first. A little rat punching never hurt anybody. These guys are kind of the perfect arrow fodder. Vulnerable and slow. Alright, at last the coast is clear. And we find an old journal, which tells of an old soldier of the Empire, left with food and hopes running out, but a soldier who believed in doing his duty. We'll see if we can return it to its rightful owner. So let's head back, out of the mountains, and to the suspected owner of this journal. Where we'll show the old grizzled veteran the book we found, upon which he's reminded of his vow and is determined to protect the village once again. Now let's go back to Alpthorpe and get congratulated again, probably. Let's go tell Walder that we did something awesome for the village once again. He agrees the veteran is a master of defense, and they can defend themselves now from all threats. Worth dropping in to look at his library, where we'll find A Song of Flame and Frost. This appears to be a long dramatic epic full of love, romance, violence, magic, and war. Sadly, it also appears to be unfinished. Clever little dig at George R.R. Martin there. Okay, I think we're done with Alpthorpe, so it's time to head on to new and bigger things in Port Boniface. It's a long journey, so we'll just skip through this arbitrarily fast. And here be dragons is the first thing we learn about the Port Boniface area. As we enter, a young woman says, "Over here, stranger." She says her name is Ket, and she offers city tours for 10 coins, so we will accept her offer. We're told of the business district with its shops, the western side with the docks and dockmaster, and the saucy mermaid, which we ought to pay a visit. We're told of the noble quarter where the prince resides. Outside the city, we're told of the Temple of Light, but told as well that Boniface worships money, not gods. And finally, we're told of the commoner's quarter. But let's hear about the city's troubles, because, well, we're a solver. Unsurprisingly, the prince is going to be our contact when it comes to those troubles. Even if he is, according to Ket, kind of a thief. But aren't they all? She asks where we're from, and, well, I'm honest. Not that that does much good. So from here we head out into the broader world of Telanua. Initially, the area surrounding Port Boniface. We'll see what's up with the Thieves Guild. We'll see what the Prince needs from us. We'll see about those mines and what's wrong there. But that's something for another video, I think. I hope this has given you a good taste of the gameplay of Realms of Antiquity. And I hope a lot of you 99ers out there will be joining me in Telanua shortly when the game is released. For now, this is Pixel Pedant, signing off. Have a good one, folks.